In this tutorial, I'll show you how to use the simple Deform Modifier, and the simple Deform Modifier is a really useful 3D modeling tool. And if you'd like to download the project files, which comes with all of these example models, they'll have a free download on my Gumroad store and Patreon page. The link to that is in the description. And if you are downloading on Gumroad, you can throw a few dollars into the price box before purchasing if you'd like to send me a little tip, or you can just punch in 0 into the price box and download for free. You can also join my Patreon page to support the channel monthly and get access to lots of Blender content. So if you just select an object in Blender, you can go over here to the modifier properties, then you can click on add modifier, and you can search for simple and add the simple deform modifier. Now the simple deform modifier has 4 main settings. So there's this twist, there's also an angle, there's also a taper, and there's also a stretch. So you can clearly see what the modifier does by these examples here with these monkey heads. So you can twist, bend, taper, or stretch different objects. And there's also a factor value on all of these settings to make it more and less strong. Now, as well as these 4 options, there's also 3 options here for the X, Y, and Z axis. So for example, on this twist here, I'm just going to twist this monkey head, but you can see there's the X axis, which is the red line back and forth. There's the Y axis. The Y axis is this green line, and then the Z axis, which is up and down. So you can clearly see I'm twisting the monkey head on the X, the Y, or the Z axis, so you can twist it to whichever works best for your object. Now on default, the objects bend from their origin point. If I hit tab to go into edit mode, I can move this over, and you can see as I'm moving it, you can see now the object is continuing to bend at a different position. And so in this example, it's kind of rotating around kind of like a screw. Now, if you want to see the topology with the modifier in effect when you're in edit mode, you can click on this little button here, the on cage button. And so now you can actually select the vertices and move them around, and the modifier is going to affect the vertices in edit mode. So you can see if I move this away from the origin, now you can see it's bending from that origin point. So here's another example with the bend type. So if I go into edit mode and just kind of move it over here, let's click on this button to turn on cage. You can see as I move the mesh farther and farther away from the origin point in edit mode, it's kind of going to be a larger bend. And then as I turn this up, you can see it's going to bend around the origin point because the origin point's right there in the center. But if I bring it back, it's going to be smaller. So the origin point really has a lot to do with how the object is going to look when it's bent. Now, another thing you should be aware of is that you do need a good amount of topology when you're deforming an object. So for example, let's just add this cube here, and I'll go into edit mode and scale the cube up. Now let's click on add modifier, and we're going to add the simple deform modifier. And let's have it set to twist, and I want to twist it on the Z axis so it goes around in a circle. So I'm going to change this to the Z axis. So now you can see I can turn this angle up, but you can see it's kind of breaking the object because the object doesn't have very much topology. Well, if I hit tab to go to edit mode, I can hit Control R to add a loop cut, and then I can scroll my mouse. So there's lots of loop cuts. I'm just going to continue to scroll my mouse, and then I'm going to left click and then right click so the loop stays where they are. Well, now when I go back to object mode, you can see here is the object now. The object has lots of geometry. So if I just show the modifier again, you can see now it's twisting it, but has lots more geometry, so it's much more even and it looks a lot more smooth. So I can kind of continue to twist this, and now we have a really cool, interesting shape. So just keep that in mind. If you're twisting a low poly object, it might be kind of deformed or stretched, and it may just not look that good. So you might want to subdivide your object or give it more geometry. So you might be wondering how this modifier can be useful for modeling different 3D things. So for example, I could model something that's kind of like a macaroni noodle shape. So if I go to the add menu, let's go here to mesh, and I'm going to add a cylinder. In edit mode, I'm going to scale the cylinder up on the Z axis. And then as I talked about earlier, I want to make it be high topology. So I'm going to hit Control R, and I'm going to scroll my mouse wheel and left click and right click so the loops stay where they are. And then I can go to the face select, and I'll select the top face and the bottom face, and I'll hit X and delete the faces. We'll go back to object mode. Then I want to give it some thickness, so I can go here to the modifiers, click on add modifier, and add like a solidify modifier. And I can drag the thickness out so it has like some thickness. Then I could use the object context menu and shade it smooth. And then I could also go to the add menu and search for like a subdivision surface modifier. And then maybe in edit mode, I'll just scale it up a bit. Well, now what I could do after both of these modifiers is I could click on add modifier, and I could add simple deform, and then I can scroll down here. So you can see the simple deform is after the solidify and subdivision. So then I could like change the angle, but this angle is wrong. So instead of twisting it, we actually want to bend it. So instead of the twist type, we're going to click here to change it to the bend type. And then I can change the axis, so I can choose the X, Y, or Z axis. In this case, I don't want to use the Z axis. I want to use either the X or the Y. So I'll just go with Y. And then I can just kind of angle this like that. I could make it like halfway, so it's kind of like a C shape, and just kind of make kind of like a macaroni noodle. You could also use this if you were modeling parts for like a marble run. If you wanted to create like a marble run and have marbles like go through this object, I do actually have a tutorial on how to create a marble run. So if you want to check out that video, the link will be in the description. So that's just one use case for this modifier. Now you could also use it to model a pipe. So if I just duplicate this object, let's just drag this one out of the way. I could make a pipe where it's kind of straight, then it bends, and then it's straight again. Well, how would I do that? Well, if you look right down here, there's actually restrictions. So if I open this up, there's going to be two restrictions. There's the first one, and then there is the second one. So the first one here is going to restrict it on this part right here. So you can see if I restrict it, if I drag this up here, you can see it's kind of twisting around, but you can just ignore that. Just look at the actual curve here on the inside. So you can see if I turn up this limit, now you can see it's straight right here, and then it kind of curves over. Then I can also turn down the bottom limit. So I can just turn this down like that, and I can kind of see we're getting this shape here. So it's kind of straight, then it curves, and then it's straight. So then here on the angle, instead of making it like negative 120, I could just make it 90. So this way it's only going to rotate by 90 degrees. So now it just kind of looks like a pipe joint. And I could also go into edit mode and scale it up on the Z axis to make it longer. So now we just have like a really small pipe joint. I could also use this to model a candy cane shape. So if I just go to the add menu, add a cylinder, I'm going to drag the cylinder over. I'll hit tab to go to edit mode. I'll scale the cylinder up on the Z axis, and then I'll hit Control R, and I'll scroll my mouse wheel so there's lots of cuts, so it's very subdivided, and left click and right click. So I'll go back to object mode, and then I can just shade the object smooth. So now I'm going to click on add modifier. I'm going to add the simple deform. And again, we want to change it to bend. I'm going to bend it on the Y axis. We'll just rotate this around, but then we can restrict it. So if we open up the restrictions, I can just drag this down. Actually, I want to drag this up and drag the top one down like that and kind of twist it around. And I think I need to hit tab to go to edit mode, select everything and scale everything up so it's a bit longer. And now I can just kind of restrict it. And I just want to do the restriction on this side. So let's just go like that. And then I can like change the angle and curve it in. And then I can just rotate this back. And so there we go, we have a simple candy cane. And I actually use this method in my tutorial that I created quite a few years ago on how to model a candy cane. So if you want to check out that video, the link is in the description. Now what I can also do is create like a cool twisted metal shape. And I kind of showed this earlier, but I could add a cube. Let's drag the cube over. I'm going to go into edit mode and scale it up on the Z axis. Then I'll hit Control R to add a loop cut, and I'll scroll out the mouse wheel, left click and right click so it stays where it is. So now I'm going to go to add modifier. I'm going to add the simple deform. And for this example, we don't want to use the bend type because that's going to rotate the entire thing. We instead want to twist it. So I'll change it to twist. And then we don't want the X and Y axis. We want to twist it on the Z axis. So then what I can do is just rotate this like that. But then let's say that I want to restrict it. Well, I can just open up the restrictions and I can just change the restrictions, and then maybe in edit mode, I'll scale the whole thing up a little bit. And then I can also use like the shade auto smooth. And so now we have a really cool kind of like twisted metal. And one thing that I was thinking this could be used for is for like a metal railing outside, like a fancy metal railing. I also did this very basic modeling for like some licorice candy. And you can see if I use that same method, we can kind of rotate those edges kind of around to make it look like a piece of licorice. Now there's also two more options. There's the taper and the stretch. And I don't find these as useful for as many things, but they may be useful. You may find them useful sometimes. So for example, I could add a cube. I'm going to go into edit mode, go to the face select, and I'm just going to like extrude this, scale it up, and just kind of make like a basic shape. I'm just kind of making a random shape, something like that. So now let's click on add modifier. We can add the simple deform, and let's change it to the taper. So for the taper, it's going to make like one side smaller and the other side larger. So for this example, I think the Z axis makes the most sense. So now I can drag this factor and let's just flip it. So in its very simplest form, if I just have a subdivided cube here, you can see if I turn the type to taper, I can either have it taper in on the top, or I can flip it and have it taper in on the bottom. And of course, you can have it taper on the X, Y, and Z axis. Now the last type is stretch. And so with stretch, you can see it's going to kind of squish it in just one area. And so right now you can see it's squishing it by the origin point. And then the rest of it is getting stretched out. So it's kind of squishing and stretching it. And you can of course invert it by turning the factor into the negative values. And then just like the other objects, there is the X, the Y, and the Z, but in this case it makes most sense to use the Z axis because that's where I have the most geometry. Now earlier I was talking about how the object's origin plays a key role in how it's going to look, but you can actually choose a different object to be the center object. So for example, I'm going to hit Shift S and move my mouse down to cursor to selected, and that way the 3D cursor is in the very center there. Now if I go to the add menu, I can go here to empty and I can add a plane axis. And I'll just scale the plane axis up a little bit so I can see it. Now if I click back on the object, you can see there is an origin here, and that's going to be on all of these settings here. So the twist, bend, taper, or stretch. So I can click on the eyedropper and then I can just choose the empty. So now where the empty is, that's going to determine kind of where the center is. So I can like move it over here, kind of move it wherever I want. So the object could be in a separate location than the center point. So where this could be useful is, for example, if I wanted to create like a coil shape. So what I'm going to do is go to the add menu. I'm just going to add a cube. And for this cube here, I'm going to scale it down to kind of squish it. And then I'm going to scale it way up on the Z axis. Then I'm going to hit Control R and I'll scroll my mouse wheel way out like this. So it has lots of geometry. So now what I want to do is add the simple deform modifier, just like we've done before. And for this example, I'm going to leave it set to twist. And for the object here on the origin, I'm going to click on the eyedropper and I'm going to choose this empty. So now I can kind of drag this empty around and that's going to affect the center. So what I'm going to do is change the axis to the Z axis. And now I can kind of just drag this out here, kind of drag this over. And then if I select the object again, let's just turn up the angle and we can make it kind of twist around. And what I could actually do is I could type in 360 here on the angle so it rotates all the way around. And then I can kind of bring this up and down just like that. You can see it kind of looks like a drill shape or a screw kind of rotating around. So then what I could do after I do that is I could click on add modifier and I could search for the array modifier. And right here on the array modifier, let's turn the count up, but I don't want it to be arrayed in this direction on the X axis. So I want to turn the offset to 0. I instead want to array it on the Z axis. So I'll turn that to 1. And now you can see if I move this around, that's going to change like the size of it. So I can move it kind of closer. And so now it's like really small. So it kind of looks like a ribbon or kind of like a coil. And I can make it really big or really small depending on the location of the empty. Another cool example that I wanted to show you with this method is that you could use it to bend text. So I'll go to the add menu and I'm just going to add some basic text here. Let's add text. I'll zoom into the text, I'll go into edit mode, I'll select everything, and I'm going to call this rotate the text. Rotate the text. Then just to make this look a bit more interesting, if I go here to the object data properties, let's just go down here to geometry and I can turn up the extrude. And then what we can do is go to the bevel and just turn up the depth a little bit. So now I'll go to the add menu and I'm going to go to empty and just add the plane axis and move it right here. And I'll hit 7 on the numpad to go to top view. So now we'll select the text. We'll go to the modifiers. We'll add modifier and we're going to add the simple deform. So in this example, I want to change it to bend. And so for this example, I want to change it to the Z axis because the Z axis is up like this. And then let's also change the angle. So I'll just rotate the angle. But then if I want it to rotate around a specific area, instead of it rotating around the origin point, I could click on the eyedropper and just choose the empty. And now I can just kind of move the empty like that, bring it down. Maybe I'll select the text and kind of scale it up a little bit on the Y axis like that. And now we have some cool rotating text. Now there's one more cool example that I want to show you, and that is to model a DNA strand. So if I go to the add menu, I could add a cube. I'll go into edit mode. I'll scale the cube up, scale the cube down, bring it over, and maybe scale up again on the Z axis, just like that. Then I'll hit Control R to add a loop cut, and I'll scroll my mouse wheel until there's lots of loops there and left click and right click. And then I can just go to the face select and I'll just like select a few of these faces. This is just some very quick modeling. You could of course model a more precise one, and then I'll extrude it into the center and let's just delete those faces. Now what I want to do is add a mirror modifier. So add mirror so it mirrors it over to the other side. I'll select everything and I'll bring it in like that. And then what I can do is turn on the clipping button and drag it out so it merges with the mirror. And then what I also want to do is select the top face and the bottom face and delete those faces because we're going to be adding an array modifier. And then let's click on add modifier and I'm going to add the subdivision surface modifier. so it smooths it out. I'll just turn the levels to 2, and then I'll just shade the object smooth. So right now it just kind of looks like a kind of simple ladder shape, but let's now click on add modifier. I can add the simple deform modifier, and for this we want to leave it at twist, and then we want to change the axis to the z-axis, and then we can rotate this around just like that, and now it's starting to look like kind of that like DNA strand in those like, medical visualization videos or whatever, where you can see like the DNA strands. And then to make it longer, I could click on add modifier, and I could add like an array modifier. Let's scroll down here on the array, and I can array it on the z-axis by 1, and then on the X offset, I'll turn that to 0. Now you can see it's offset from the array, so what we want to do is make this 360 degrees, so type in 360, so it's rotating all the way around, and there we go, we now have like a simple DNA strand. So that's how you can use the simple deform modifier, so it's a very useful modeling tool to know. And if you'd like to download the free project files, you can get those on my Gumroad store and Patreon page with the links in the description, and download this example Blender file. And some more tutorials that I can recommend is my Blender Quick Tips playlist to learn more tips in Blender. You can also check out my Modifiers for Beginners tutorial if you'd like to learn more about Blender's different modifiers. And you can also check out my 3D Modeling for Beginners tutorial to learn more basic fundamentals on 3D modeling. So I hope you found this helpful, and thank you for watching.